Hello everyone, welcome to 12am coding. And today we are going to discuss about two new annotations in our Spring Boot series, which is at the rate path variable and at the rate request param. Okay, so in our last tutorial we have discussed about REST API, right? So in the REST API, user will request some data to the server and server will provide the response. And basically that data requesting data will be in JSON format. But in some cases, we can get the data in URL also, some values or like not big data, but some values we can get in the URL. And then we can map those URLs actually. So in the same way we discussed like yesterday, right? That if we need a home address, then we need some state, then pin code, then plot number and everything. In the same way for the API also, we are having these addresses, right? So I have created one controller, fruit controller, and in this I have put one new annotation which is request mapping. It is nothing but it is just pointing to this particular class. So we are having this particular local host, right? 8090, and then it is pointing to fruits. Now we can have some more paths inside it. Okay, and in this class, all the functions can have these mappings so that if user will call any API, it will map to that particular method. So I hope this is making sense as per last tutorial. So now what I am going to do, I am going to give you the example of path variable and request param. So first of all, let me create one get mapping. Okay. And simple get mapping I'm doing, and let's say I'm giving a string, then I'm having a fruit here, then I want to return something. Now what I want to return is, let's say I want to take some value from path actually. So for example, that in the path, right, I'll be having one string name, and this name, fruit name, I want to return. Okay, simply this thing I'm doing. Now in this get mapping, what I can do, I can provide a placeholder here so that whenever in the fruit URL, if some name is coming, it will be automatically mapped to this particular name and we will return it actually. Okay, so let me run this particular code and let's see how it goes. So I just ran this particular code. Now if I go to the URL and print something, let's say I'll be printing the default, I'll be hitting the default URL. So 1 minute. Okay, so it is saying 404 not found because we are not having any default URL now. As in the yesterday, we was having one more API in which we was not having anything here, and then we was just returning something. Okay, we can just return hello. Okay, and this particular URL will be mapped by default. Okay, so if I hit this, then in that case, we like this name URL will be, it will be not working, but this particular default URL will be working. So it is printing help actually. I haven't printed hello. Fine. Okay, so let me remove this for now because we need a name. So now what I did, I just provided a name into this URL and I have placeholder it so that this can read this name. Okay. So let's say after our URL, I'll provide Apple. Okay. So it is not working because it's not finding this particular URL. So what I need to do, if I need to read this name, then I need to do at the rate path variable. Okay. So if we will be hitting this particular URL with a name with path variable, then this should work and we got Apple here. Okay. So it is simple. Now, one more thing, let's say I just name this variable something different. Let's say fruit name. Okay. And I'm returning this fruit name here. Let me run it and see. So this is our second concept. Just see this one. If I'll do it right now, it's not working. It's saying 500 because if you see the error, it is saying resolved request URI template variable fruit name for method parameter that is string is not present because it is not finding. So actually we can provide a name. We can map this to this particular name. So whatever name we are getting, we will map to our fruit name. So if I'll run it now, this will be working. This should work actually. So if I'll hit it, it is printing apple. In the same way, there is one more variable which is value. Either you can provide a name or you can provide a value. Okay. So if you see, this is also working. Now, third concept comes is if you want multiple data, multiple variable, then also you can do. you can do this price here, and then string price. I am not providing any different name. I'm just providing this price name only so that it will work. So price is, then let me print price here. Okay. So we are getting two variables. You can get n number of variables in this one. That's not a problem. It will replace. So if I'll print this, it is saying 404. Okay, the issue is I haven't provided at the rate path variable here. Okay, I just provided the price. Let's see. Okay, so if you see, 1 second, get mapping, then we are having a price here. We are providing the path variable name with the fruit name. Okay, if we have provided the 1 minute, let me restart it. Okay, 1 sec. Let me provide a value also here. Okay, the problem is actually I'm not providing the price in the URL. So let me just uh, replace this one. So I'm just keeping all these errors so that we can see it more clearly. So after Apple, I need to provide a price actually. So if I hit this, Apple price is 100. So I think this is making sense. Okay, so this is our third example of this path variable. So here, like, this is the features of path variable. Now we can see one more annotation, which is query params. Okay, so what I will do, I'll remove these things from here. Okay, and rather than path variable, I'll be providing um, query param actually. So let me first show you with the one variable only, and I am returning a name. Okay, and with the query param, or there is a request param actually. Query param is in the old Spring versions, right? It was query param. Now it is request param. So it is the same actually. So if I'll stop this one and I'll be running, so the syntax will be little different in your URL. What you need to do, you need to provide a question mark. It works in the same way, but there are some differences, I'll tell you. So in the question mark, you need to provide this particular variable name. Okay, name equals to, and let's say apple, then you need to give the apple here. So it is printing apple. If we remove the quotation also, right, it will work. That's why it is printing a quotation, but we don't need it actually. So we are providing the name. Let's say this name I am giving different. Okay, and for example, like here is the name. Okay, and let's say this variable I am giving as fruit name. Okay, so this will not recognize it actually. So for that also, in the request param, we are having a name, or you can provide a value also. If you give this fruit name here, so what it will do, as same like the path variable, it will map that particular name to this fruit name. So let me hit it now, and see it's working, apple. So this is our second, and in the same way you can provide value also, either name or value, both are same. Okay, now one more thing is, in this, let's say I remove this particular thing from URL, okay, and I am hitting it. So it is saying 400 bad request because it is coming to here. It's a default get for me, but it is not finding the fruit name. So what I can do, I can have one more parameter which is required false. So if you send or don't send, it will work. So let's see. In this case, if we don't send, it will be getting this string as null. Now let's see how it goes. So if you see, it is returning nothing because it is a required false and we are not passing this particular name. So it's just returning null, which is not showing here. So if we see in our inspector, right, if we go and see, one API is getting called and response is empty in the same way. Okay, so here comes one more new concept. Let's say you don't have, like, you don't want to provide explicitly this request param, but you need a default value. So here come default value also. So let's say guava we can provide. Okay, let me correct the spelling, and then let me run it. So what it will do, if we don't have any this fruit name into the URL, then it will be giving you the default value as guava. Okay, so this is the simple thing. In the same way, we can have multiple request parameters also. Okay, request parameter, and let's say price, and we want to print the same way, we want to print price in. Okay, here 1 minute. Okay, at the rate request parameter I need to provide, and this price is here. Let me run this particular code again. So let's say we want one more variable. So fruit name I am having, okay, apple. And if I need a new parameter, if I need multiple, then you need to provide this syntax as and. So fruit question mark, then the name of the variable in the um, this request param, and then price you can put, let's say 150. Okay, and if you hit this particular, then it is saying apple price is 150. Okay, so now we are providing the fruit name and we are providing these values. And in the same way, let's say if I don't provide the fruit name here, then it should guava price is 150, because it should get the default value of this particular fruit name. Okay, so yes guys, that's it for this particular tutorial. I hope this at the rate path variable and at the rate request param is making much more sense now. You can use now efficiently in your programming whenever you are doing with Spring Boot. So yeah, that's it for this particular tutorial. Let's see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.